Good evening. Welcome to Ziggy's Rants. I'm Ziggy. Now, I'm going to talk about what's just happened in Parliament regarding the First Minister's votes, and I'll break down the numbers, and I'll discuss what I saw and what I heard from the new First Minister and what I heard in Parliament. Now, first of all, if you want to help the program, the show, please, there's three things you can do. You can subscribe, you can thumbs up, and you can share. It all helps with the reach, and I do appreciate it immensely if you could do that. Now then, to the rant. Now, the numbers were as follows. Cole Hamilton got 4 votes, Douglas Ross got 31 votes, and John Swinney got 64 votes. And there was 7 abstentions. Now, it's the abstentions that I want to talk about first. And they were obviously the Greens. And it's all a political game of the Greens using their vote to threaten, and it's what they did, it's to threaten John Swinney with you need us in votes to get policies through. So we want to show you that we are prepared to not vote for you if you don't listen to us and carry on the disastrous green policies that happened in over the last few years of the SNP Green Alliance. Now, from what I heard in Parliament today was quite a stark difference between the parties. Now, I mostly I want to talk about what John Swinney said in his speech and what the leader of the Labour Party said, because I thought he actually had a pretty good day in Parliament today, and as well. Can't pronounce his name. Never could. But no, what he said, what the leader of the Labour Party said, and this is quite interesting to listen to, and it shows you the state of Scotland. 820,000 people are on the waiting lists for the NHS. Long waiting lists. I know people have been told it could be 2-3 years to see a consultant. So 820,000 people are on a waiting list in Scotland for the NHS. We have 10,000 children, homeless children, that are families looking for property, looking for rental property. 10,000 families, kids on the homeless list. We have 10% increase in drug deaths within the last year since Humza was First Minister over these last 12 months. 10% increase in drug deaths. That all came from the Labour leader when he was talking, when he gave his speech. And what did we get from John Swinney? We got Brexit. It's he wanted to get away from, he wants independence, because since the last time we had the vote 10 years ago for independence, we've had Brexit. He wants to get away from Brexit, and he wants to get away from Brexit by joining the EU. Now, as we know, their chief economist stated, and this was Sturgeon who hired this bloke, and he's a top economist in Scotland, one of the top ones, and he said independence would be like Brexit times 10. And it would be a financial disaster for Scotland. But yet he wants to leave the rest of the UK, where we do 66% of our trade with, to join the EU, who we do 17% of our trade with. An EU that is not working for European countries, never mind anywhere else. So he wants to leave the UK to join, and he wants independence, but be run by the EU. The normal doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. If he wants independence, then be independent. But why does he want to be ran by another unelected organisation that we have no say in? And he's talking about equal union, an equal partner. We would not be equal in the EU with the likes of Germany and France and some of these other countries. We would not have an equal say. That will not happen. So it was Brexit. It was mostly independence that is discussed. He talked about the mini budget being a disaster for Scotland. Liz Truss, the mini budget that Liz Truss did, had no effect on Scotland or the UK. This is one of these things that gets thrown around that it cost us billions and billions, that mini budget. No, it didn't. No, it did not. It was 44 days she was the Prime Minister. What was the economist said was, if we'd have carried on the path that Liz Truss wanted to go on, then it could end up costing us billions of pounds. It could. But only lasted 44 days, so it had no effect. The markets recovered from that 44 days and have gone on, and the markets are actually doing extremely well at the moment. So this idea that cost us, and it shows you how inept they are at financial decisions and financial ideas. They've got no idea whatsoever. They really haven't. It did not cost Scotland a penny, that mini budget. It really didn't. And he talks about the UK tax. Well, I'm sorry, but we are in the highest taxed area of the UK, and it's due to the SNP. Nothing to do with Westminster, and nothing to do with the rest of the UK. That's down to an SNP policy, not the UK. And he talks about Tory austerity since the last time we voted for since the independence vote of 2014. He's talking about the Tory austerity. Well, I'm sorry, but it's not the Tories who have stopped giving the local government the proper budget. It's not the Tories' fault that we're in a 1.5 billion black hole. It's not the Tories' fault. They don't give the councils the budget. The Scottish budget went up in real terms by 3.9% this last time. In real terms, it's at record levels, the budget we get in Scotland. But yet he's talking about Tory austerity. It's the SNP austerity that's causing the harm in Scotland. And he talks about the economy being broken, the UK economy being broken, the sixth largest economy in the world. And he's talking about it being broken. the economy in Scotland has been destroyed by the SNP Green policies over the last couple of years. Absolutely destroyed the economy in Scotland. If you listen to any businesses in Scotland, and I've done spaces with business-led people, and they all say the same. It's the SNP policies that have destroyed businesses in Scotland. The money that was given to Scotland to help with the economy during COVID and to help with businesses was not passed along. It was kept by the SNP for giveaways. They destroyed the tourism industry. The letting industry in Scotland has been destroyed by the Greens and the disastrous policies there. So I really don't understand where he's coming from, and it's just the usual rhetoric used by every single Scottish Nationalist Party propaganda machine. He's come out with the same old from a tired old party, from a tired old man who has been in government for over 20 years and is part of this disastrous government that we've seen. He's been part of it. He's been influential in it. He's done a major role in the SNP for over 20 years, and he's helped destroy the educational system. When he was educational minister, he was a disaster there. And it's another carry on. It's just more and more rhetoric, more and more garbage talked. He talked about free prescriptions. That was a Labour policy, by the way, not an SNP policy. And it is, but they're claiming it to be theirs. But 96% of England who need prescriptions, free prescriptions, get it free in England. 96% who need a prescription, get it free in England. It's those that can afford, pay for it. Because how does he think an independent Scotland is going to afford to have all these freebies that they give away? They won't be. They're living in cuckoo land. So that's what we saw today. So John Swinney with 64 votes. So I'm kind of working it out that Ash Reagan obviously voted for John Swinney to make it 64 because it was 63, and her that's 64. 7 abstentions. That'll be the Greens. Conservatives voted for Conservatives, and the 4 Liberals voted for Cole Hamilton. So that's the numbers, and we now have our third First Minister from the SNP within the last 14 months. This is the third one: Sturgeon, Humza, and now Swinney. By the way, and it was pointed out today, Swinney had said that you cannot have a government with an unelected head of that government without having taken it to a vote, and that's why he needed to get the Tories out. But he's now been. It wasn't elected by his party. It wasn't, because there was no vote. There was no challenge. There was no vote. So he wasn't elected by his party. And he hasn't been elected by the people of Scotland. Obviously, being the head of his party, it's well within the rules. He gets to run as First Minister, and his party have voted him in as First Minister. Fine. But the people of Scotland, if he's not going to be a hypocrite, he should put the vote to the people of Scotland, because that's what we need right now, is a Holyrood election and getting a government that is going to work on the issues that the Labour leader pointed out, rather than the old independence tripe that we keep hearing time and time again. So that's my rant over with. My third one today. So thanks for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe, and it is appreciated. Thank you very much for listening. This will be my last one today, so have a lovely evening, and I'll speak again another time. Thank you very much.